Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're tuning in, you're probably ready to focus in and wrap your head around one of the absolute most fascinating concepts in modern tech. Right off the bat, we're going to tackle a massive limitation in the current world of crypto and Web3. For years, these groundbreaking networks have been built. We're talking billions of dollars and countless hours of top-tier developer talent poured into these amazing projects. But you know, they almost all share one really critical flaw. They operate in total isolation. It's kind of like building thousands of incredible futuristic cities, complete with skyscrapers and flying cars, but then completely forgetting to build any roads between them. That isolation, that is the exact state of most blockchains today.
Okay, let's dive into this. Imagine a world where entirely different blockchain networks could securely exchange data, assets, and information without ever needing to rely on a centralized middleman to translate for them. What if they weren't just isolated islands anymore? What if instead they were this massive connected continent? That incredibly ambitious vision of a fully integrated internet of blockchains is exactly what we're breaking down today. So I want to anchor our entire explainer right here, on one single concept: interoperability. Basically, it just means the ability of different distinct blockchain networks to communicate and actually work together securely in a shared ecosystem. Solving this exact problem is the whole foundational vision behind Polkadot. See, Polkadot isn't just trying to be another isolated city competing for residents. It's literally trying to build the entire highway system so all the cities can finally trade and interact with one another. Now, to really grasp why this is such a game changer, we have to look at who's actually behind it. Polkadot was founded by Gavin Wood. If that name sounds familiar to you, it's because he was one of the original co-founders of Ethereum. He's literally the guy who coded its first functional version. Well, after helping create Ethereum, he had this massive realization. He saw that a single blockchain, no matter how powerful or popular it got, was just never going to be enough to handle the entire world's traffic. He realized the industry desperately needed a connected ecosystem, rather than a bunch of separate, isolated networks all fighting over the same bottlenecks.
Section 1. How Polkadot connects everything. Now, what's really interesting about this architecture is that Polkadot isn't just one big monolithic structure. It actually stacks together three distinct pillars to form a complete connected ecosystem. You've got the relay chain, the parachains, and the bridges. It's an incredibly clever design because it distributes the workload rather than cramming everything into one clogged network. Let's explore exactly how these three structural components actually work together to make all this magic happen.
First up, we have the relay chain. You can think of this as the beating heart of the network, or that central highway we were talking about earlier. Now, its primary job isn't to run fancy applications or process thousands of smart contracts. Nope, its job is to provide shared security for the entire network and seamlessly coordinate the complex communication between all the other blockchains connected to it. It acts as this secure, unshakable bedrock that everything else is built upon, making sure no bad actors can compromise the data flowing between the different branches. And branching right off that central highway, we have the parachains. These are the individual, independent blockchains connected directly to the relay chain. Think of these as the highly specialized cities along the highway. Because they're independent, developers can actually design each parachain for a very specific purpose. So you might have one parachain that's hyper-optimized just for decentralized finance, while another is built entirely from the ground up for high-speed gaming. The real beauty here is that they can specialize perfectly in their unique tasks while still borrowing that massive shared security from the main relay chain. For us, that means faster, way more efficient applications without clogging up the main network.
Finally, we have the bridges. This third component is what makes the whole ecosystem truly limitless. Bridges are, well, exactly what they sound like. They're specialized connections that allow the Polkadot ecosystem to communicate with entirely external outside networks. Because of these bridges, Polkadot isn't just stuck talking to itself. It can seamlessly exchange information and assets with absolute giants like Bitcoin and Ethereum. It completely unleashes the potential of the entire broader crypto space.
Section 2. The role of DOT. So the native cryptocurrency, DOT, serves three absolutely critical functions that keep this whole machine running smoothly. First is network security through staking. Users can lock up or stake their DOT to act as validators, which directly maintains the blockchain and secures that central highway. Second is governance. This is cool. Holding DOT actually gives you a voice. You get to vote on network proposals, allowing the community to actively guide how the whole network evolves over time. And third, it supports the overall ecosystem by facilitating vital network operations and allowing new parachains to seamlessly connect and lease their spot on the network. Section 3. Real-world Web3 applications. Let's move to and see how this builds out in practice.
The real-world use cases here are just vast and honestly incredibly exciting. We are talking about highly robust decentralized finance platforms for lending and trading at lightning speeds. We're seeing entire gaming networks optimized solely to run massive virtual worlds without any lag. Imagine completely transparent supply chains where businesses can track goods globally with perfect accuracy. We're even seeing the development of totally secure digital identity management. But out of everything on this list, cross-chain communication is Polkadot's absolute biggest strength. It allows all of these distinct applications to instantly share data with one another without ever needing some centralized middleman standing in the way.
Section 4. Comparing the giants. Just look at how this landscape splits up when you compare the heavy hitters. Bitcoin focuses heavily on being secure digital money and a highly reliable store of value, right? Ethereum completely changed the game by bringing us the ability to run smart contracts and decentralized apps. But look at Polkadot. Instead of trying to aggressively compete to be the best digital money or the single best smart contract platform, Polkadot uniquely focuses entirely on interoperability. It is simply trying to connect these blockchains together. It's a completely different philosophy. It's collaboration over competition.
Section 5. Advantages and market risks.
Now, as a quick reminder before we get into this explainer is strictly for educational purposes, definitely not financial advice. Looking at the advantages, Polkadot honestly boasts some major technological strengths. Its architecture is incredibly scalable because of that unique parachain design we just discussed. It offers shared security, meaning new projects don't have to bootstrap their own extremely costly defense systems from scratch. They literally just plug right into the relay chain. This allows for highly flexible blockchain development. Plus, it operates on a highly energy-efficient proof-of-stake consensus mechanism, which is a massive leap forward compared to older, super energy-heavy blockchains. And all of this is backed by a very strong, deeply dedicated developer ecosystem.
But, the road ahead is definitely not without some significant hurdles. Blockchain tech is evolving at breakneck speed, which means the landscape literally changes daily. Polkadot also faces extremely strong competition from other networks attempting to solve this exact same interoperability problem. Furthermore, the entire success of this network relies heavily on continuous developer adoption. If developers stop building those parachains, the highway just sits empty. And of course, like all cryptocurrencies in this nascent space, the DOT token itself is subject to highly unpredictable price volatility in the broader market.
So the crucial point is this, and it's captured perfectly in this quote from our source material. Polkadot is much more than a coin. It's an entire blockchain ecosystem designed to connect multiple blockchains into one network. Whether you're looking at this from the perspective of a developer, an enthusiast, or just a focused learner trying to understand the evolution of the internet, grasping how Polkadot approaches the interoperability problem is absolutely key to understanding the potential future direction of Web3 technology as a whole.
We've seen the massive problem of isolated blockchains, and we've explored Polkadot's really complex, multi-layered solution to finally bridge those gaps. So the question I want to leave you with today is this. Is a truly interconnected Web3 the inevitable future of the internet? And could Polkadot be the highway that finally ties it all together? Take this framework we've built today, dive deeper, and continue your own research. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and as always, keep learning.